So I believe this has dropped since the Micah Parsons trade from 7.5
I'm
to I
sure
think
it
six and
has.
a
I'm
half.
sure it has.
Yeah, we've seen a couple other drops, or sorry, we've seen him on a couple of the odd sites drop down a game or two, depending on where you look after the Micah Parsons trade. And the funny thing is, during that Packers segment we were talking about last week, I think I said verbatim, like, if they get Micah Parsons, we're going to have a different conversation. With the Cowboys, I think now that they've lost Micah Parsons, maybe we're having a slightly different conversation. But what did you have for the Cowboys here?
Yeah, definitely. I had him even before the Micah Parsons trade under. I was thinking 7 wins. I do think they probably still pull that off even post Micah Parsons trade. They also lost to Marcus Lawrence, but they added Dante Fowler. Not an elite pass rusher, but he's a pass rusher. And they're getting some pieces back on defense like Trayvon Diggs, things like that. And then they added George Pickens. Again, I think they're kind of not too dissimilar from the Raiders, but they're just missing that star pass rusher now. They're going to have like a very explosive offense per se, um, and then maybe not as great of a defense. Maybe their defense is even way below average, is what I think. But I think 7 wins is doable for them. And I think the offense, like, they put up points. They got Pickens, they got CeeDee Lamb, and then Javonte Williams. They got a bunch of other running backs, things like that. So I think they'll put up numbers, and it's going to be like every week is going to be like a shootout type game for the Cowboys because
Yeah.
that's what it's going to be.
Which is going to be nice because they're always on TV. So hopefully that is the case. I'm with you. I'm saying actually going a little bit lower than you. I'm going 6 wins for them. ChatGPT had them at 9, but this again was before the Micah Parsons trade, which changes everything defensively. I do not believe in their defense at all. I think it'll be like a bottom 5 unit. There's no real star power on this team except for Trayvon Diggs. They gave Deron Bland a bunch of money. But we all know, like, good DBs are only as good as their defensive line. You can't cover forever. So if the quarterback has a million, bunch of time back there, it doesn't really matter who's covering. Offensively, there will be a lot of fun. I know Dak gets a lot of flack for his playoff performance and his huge contract, but he is an excellent regular season quarterback, puts up huge numbers. They play indoors a bunch of times, but I do think 6 wins because of their division. I think even the Giants are going to be a tough out now that they have a half decent quarterback. But we don't want to step on the Giants segment too much. 6 wins, but a lot of fun, which again hopefully should be the case because they're always on TV. What are your fantasy picks for the Cowboys?
Yeah, sleeper is Javonte Williams. Like, I mean, I don't know if people know he's like the starting running back or what. Like, I see him getting
Is
drafted.
he
I'm
though?
like,
Like, is he
he
really
is.
the starting running back?
He's like entrenched. He's getting all the carries. Like, you're gonna see him get like pretty much like 20 plus carries week one. Is what, like, who's there? Jaden Blue. That guy's like Darren Sproles. That's fine. He can get the passes. Miles Sanders already hurt. Like, that guy's all been hurt since like 2001. Like, I don't know. Like, he's been hurt forever. um, like, that's what I'm saying. Javonte Williams is the guy. Like, I mean, even if he's a starting running back, he should at least be going like round 8, 9, 10, like, right? But he's going like with the defenses and the kickers, or he's getting like a
Yeah,
dollar
that's
bids
true.
on them, right? So I'm like, he's a sleeper pick, starting running back. He has volume. I'm not expecting him to be like RB1 or anything like that, or like even a top 15 running back, but he's a solid RB2, RB3 kind of for the team. And if you're going like a zero running back strategy, he could be your starting running back maybe. Plus, I don't like George Pickens as much. I think he's too much of a knucklehead. We touched on this earlier. Like, don't draft knuckleheads. And George Pickens is one of those guys where he's got elite hands, things like that. I just don't see the volume for him with CeeDee Lamb on the other side. And like, I think like he's just a knucklehead. He's gonna get into it with like Prescott. He's gonna get
He
into
is
a
a
CeeDee
knucklehead.
Lamb, right? Like, and like he's gonna have like so many issues. Like, they're just gonna be like, let's just get this guy off our team now at some point. Like, that's what the
Yeah.
Steelers did, right? So it's gonna be the same case here on the Cowboys, I think.
Exactly. But that's kind of what the Cowboys do. They take knuckleheads and hope they can rehab their image and all that. I went Javonte Williams as well for my sleeper just because of the fact that there's so few feature running backs in the NFL. I don't think he's like entrenched as the starter. I think they're going to have a rotation, but it's just going to be, it's almost like the Rico Dowdle situation last year where it was just like, well, we don't know who our starting running back is. So, kind of be week to week. And then it's going to end up like week 13, week 14. It's like, okay, Rico Dowdle is the best back on this team. Let's give him 20 carries a game, even though this running game is not very good. So it's almost going to be like a process of elimination where he ends up getting a bunch of carries, even though people were able to steal him late in drafts. My bust, just relative, is CeeDee Lamb. I don't see why he's going for $60, $65. I feel like there's receivers out there that can match his production, and again, I know this offense is going to be good, but George Pickens is there. They have a couple good tight ends. They're going to be throwing the ball around a lot, but just, again, just a relative bust on CeeDee Lamb.